Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast. I am your host, Suzie Hunter, and welcome back from Thanksgiving break, everyone. Happy that you're able to join us. We are going to get into some Rockies news, some baseball headlines, including a six-run homer. A six-run home run exists, and it did not happen at Coors Field. So we're going to talk a little Moneyball, not the movie. More on that later. We're also going to talk about a pitcher named Gray on the move. Who could it be? Maybe you heard, maybe you haven't. And it's the last chance, of course, to take advantage of DNVR's Cyber Monday deals. We'll tell you more on that later, too. And this is a question I was thinking last night as I worked on the show, as I'm sitting here in Charlotte. I've been living with a 1-year-old for like the past week. What's worse, your team losing 103 games or sneezing in the middle of the night and waking up your 1-year-old nephew? I've lived through both. We will contemplate this all show. But first, let's get into, there's so little Rockies news right now. Honestly, very light on baseball news in general. We have not seen a ton of transactions because we're coming off a holiday weekend. But the Broncos are good. The Broncos won yesterday. That's pretty wild. It's pretty wild because the Broncos are good, the Nuggets are good, and the Avs are good all at the same time. I don't know if the Broncos have been good at the same time as those other two teams like ever. If you want to chime in. But that means that the Rockies are the lone Big Four team that is losing, that it is coming off a losing season, that is not good right now. So I thought that was pretty funny. This is another fun fact that I saw on Twitter, though. The Broncos haven't lost a game since the Rangers won the World Series. So thank you to Alex Plink, apologies, for pointing that out on Twitter. We got some Rockies in the news. Of course, we get all those like Thanksgiving themed articles about players, but it's also, we're warming up to winter meetings too. So it's nice to just, start speculating things. But The Athletic put on an article with what each NL team needs. So of course, what the Rockies need. They need starting pitching. They need bullpen upgrades. So this was written by Jim Bouton. Every year the Rockies have existed. Their most pressing need has been to improve their pitching in the rotation and the bullpen. They struggle to recruit free agent pitchers because of the Coors Field factor. That doesn't mean they don't try. GM Bill Schmidt continues to check all avenues available to him to improve their pitching staff. What an interesting take. I'm happy to see that someone thinks that there's an effort going on there. Michael in the chat, having raised 2 babies, I can tell you that the sneeze is definitely worse. Yeah, I felt really bad about it. I felt very bad about it. Oh yeah, one of the things we're going to get into too, children's books for babies. I've been surrounded by them, and yet there's not enough of children's books for babies about baseball, about the sports that I care about the athletes I care about. So we're gonna workshop some of that in a little bit too, because I thought it would be fun. So this is where we're getting into the Thanksgiving themed the Thanksgiving themed stories. So there's another Athletic article that highlights a Black Friday deal for each team. This one's by Andy McCullough. So for the Rockies, the pitcher that they picked out, Eric Lauer, starting pitcher, 28 years old, a former first rounder, 2 strong seasons for Milwaukee in 21 and 22, but he injured his shoulder. 2023 wasn't great. Elected free agency after the Brewers removed him from the 40-man in October. So the quote from the article, the Rockies always need more pitching. Yeah, no shit. Yeah. Apparently, this is a guy, though, that has a 12.73 career ERA at Coors Field. Are we all phoning it in this Thanksgiving week? Maybe we are. Hey, we got an MLB.com version of what every team should be thankful for. Take 2 guesses on what you think the Rockies is. There's only one. Obviously, the one thing that Rockies fans are always seen as being so thankful, quote unquote, thankful for, It's having a great stadium. It's a great stadium to go to, whether you're watching the game while it's happening or not. Obviously, a sore subject for the actual baseball fans here in Colorado. Quote, that stadium remains an absolute blast of a place to watch a game. The Rockies are rebuilding, but Coors Field remains arguably the best place in Major League Baseball to watch a game. Yeah, we know. It's great. It's amazing. Unless you want to watch your team win, in case you might be waiting a couple seasons. Oh, you know what? Thomas Harding put together a great story on Lucas Gilbreth, too, because he is so involved in the youth, the future baseball players of Colorado, of the greater Denver area. But great story on all that he does for the kids. All right. I mentioned a Gray. We're going to mention John Gray, the one that actually used to be a Rocky. John Gray gave a big old check, a giant check to his school. So he presented a check for $25,000 to Oklahoma over the weekend, which was very nice. And apparently OU is in the process of raising money for improvements. And they're transitioning from Big 12 into the SEC, they just want to upgrade that stadium and make it more fan friendly. They want to have better facilities for their players and make sure they have everything we need. We've seen all these recent stadium renovations or baseball facility renovations for different colleges. Some of these clubhouses that these college kids have now are nicer than major league clubhouses. Like, they are all the bells and whistles, which, you know what, I actually appreciate, because listen, they're out there playing for basically free unless they have, some kind of NIL deal. But listen, they're not getting paid. We might as well give them nice facilities, right? I am a fan of this trend in general. Albert in the chat, hello. Thank you. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. Yeah, guys, let me know if you've got questions, comments, concerns, anything. Throw it in the chat. We love interacting with you guys. And of course, this is especially for people watching us live on YouTube. If you're watching us or if you're listening just on the pod, you're shit out of luck right now. I'm being dramatic. Let's real fast before we get into some baseball headlines, because we do have some headlines. I want to talk about our friends at Bet365. Because it's never an ordinary time there. Choose your offer, guys. Choose between two of these offers: a first bet safety net of $1,000, or bet $5 and get $150 when you sign up with code DNVR365. My favorite thing about the Bet365 app is that we have a custom bet in there, a custom DNVR bets pick, a selection. So our own custom bet, keep an eye out for it each and every week. You'll see the bets DNVR signage. So you can ride with DNVR and place your bets, but make sure you use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Keep in mind, you must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. I always need a little Breck Brew in my life. I can't wait to get back to the bar where I can enjoy some Broncos Country Pale Ale. It is $6 a pint right now at the DNVR bar, and it's a new recipe this season too. So definitely something to check out. One of my favorite brews, but they've got one for every occasion. It's also low-key Avalanche Amber Ale season. It is Mile High City Golden Ale season. Love that one. Fun Slinger, of course, and the Good Company Seltzer. So check out breckbrew.com to either use the beer locator to find a brew near you, or see all the great stuff that they have going on, because they have incredible spaces too, and they give great tours. We love our friends at Breck Brew. All right, I love talking baseball. I love our little baseball headlines. Let's get into it. The Cardinals, we found out this morning, signed Sonny Gray to a 3-year, $75 million deal. It's a big payday for him in terms of what he's made in the rest of his career prior to this. He's 35 years old. Really? What? But 2023. Okay, he had He had a great season. 2023 as a 2.79 ERA over 32 starts and 181 innings. He finished second in American League Cy Young voting. And the president of the Cardinals, John Mozeliak, said they would sign 3 starters. He did say this before. This was from a Bob Nightingale tweet, so I'm assuming it's true. But they have signed Lance Lynn. They have signed Kyle Gibson. If someone in my front office said we're gonna sign 3 starters and one of those starters was Lance Lynn, I would be pissed. Would I be pissed as a Rockies fan? You know what? Would I? Well, there's a big difference between what the Cardinals can get and what the Rockies can get. And as we know, of course, hard to get the big flashy free agent starters for us. Everyone knows that. But the other point is the Cardinals have been horse shit for the past couple of seasons, especially this season. I cannot believe they imploded the way they did. Yeah. And that's that. Baseball United. Have you guys been following Baseball United? Baseball United made some headlines. They had the league's debut game. It was kind of like an all-stars game. So they already have some really big names on their rosters. This is a league that is happening in like South Asia, the Middle East, India. So it's Mumbai, Karachi, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai. So this game was in Dubai, this all-stars game. This was crazy, though, because we saw the very first 6-run homer in baseball, professional baseball history. So they have this rule. There is a rule where occasionally a golden money ball will come into play. And if you hit a homer with that ball, it's worth double. Oh my gosh, just so freaking wild to me. But guess who hit it? Pablo Sandoval. So this league is full of just talent from the past, like really big names from the past too. Pablo Sandoval, not too far removed, but he literally hit, it was a 3-run homer, but because of this golden money ball, this is like sounding like Quidditch over here, but because of the golden money ball, worth double, a 6-run homer. That's fun. I'm looking forward to watching this. This doesn't really start until like next winter, I think. So listen, a 6-run homer, and it didn't happen at Coors Field. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? The first thing I like to look up whenever someone is playing baseball somewhere, I'm like, what's the elevation going on there? Dubai is about 50 feet above sea level. All of the cities, there are 4 cities in Baseball United. They are all less than 100 feet below sea level. Fascinating. Baseball at sea level. Let's have more of it. Okay. Lots of old stars. So we're seeing like Bartolo Colon, 50 years old, like crazy stuff. I cannot believe. What are these guys playing for? Like they have money. Did they spend all their money? Are they doing it to jumpstart a comeback? Are they doing it just for fun because it's fun to play baseball? Is it a secret third thing? Are they looking for more money? But I don't know. Like, would a guy like Bartolo Colon, like, is he like trying to make a major league comeback, or is he just doing this for fun? Bartolo Colon, let me know in the chat. But a bunch of or a handful of Rockies connections to JD Hammer is on a roster. They haven't started playing yet, but he's on a roster for the Falcons. Dylan Thomas, who was a former yard goat. I think he made it up to the Isotopes too. I don't remember at this point because he hasn't been in the Rockies organization like in several years at this point. Jeremy Profar, the brother of Rockies short-timer Jurickson Profar, also on a roster. Hey, Alex Katz, a one-time guest of this podcast, also on a roster. So there's like a handful, like honestly, every single team has names where I'm like, oh, like I remember him. What's he up to? Like Didi Gregorius is on a team. Didi Gregorius was a Major League Baseball player like less than 2 years ago. Like, that's not that far removed. I'm kind of surprised, though, that also he didn't get picked up anywhere in America for last season. Because, again, like, he used to be a Yankee. He had a great season with the Phillies that one time. And then just kind of, like, faded away into free agency. And now he's going to be playing some baseball in, like, Dubai. Good for him. Good for him. We're going to talk a little more about we're going to talk a little bit more about the trade market. Dylan Cease, a big starting pitcher free agent, still on the market now that, of course, Sonny Gray is off the market. So also Sonny Gray made all that money. I cannot wait to see how much money the rest of these starting pitchers are going to make this off season, this hot stove season. So apparently the Dodgers and the Braves are the most serious, the most interested, per Bob Nightingale. Will the White Sox actually move him, though, after their own 101 loss season? Their new GM, by the way, said no one on their team is off limits. So they will talk to anyone about any kind of trade, but mention, it's got to be worth it for both sides. Of course, no shit. Even Eloy Jimenez is fair game. He also came to the White Sox with Cease from the Cubs in 2017. So they're like little trade buddies. So Dylan Cease started 33 games last year, had a 4.58 ERA through 177 seasons. So last year was not his personal best year. But in 2022, let's remember how good he was in 2022. A sub-3 ERA, pitched a complete game shutout. It was almost a no-hitter. Those are always so intense. At that point in the White Sox season in 2022, they were still kind of in the postseason race. They were 5.5 spots behind, or they were 5.5 spots behind for that final American League wildcard spot. So it's kind of crazy to think that they went from, actually not being that bad last year to 101 loss season. That is a big drop. That is a huge drop. I don't know who put a curse on the White Sox, but that is a curse and it's real. Interesting to keep in mind, though, Dylan Cease, he's still young, 27 years old. He is a Georgia native, so that makes it more interesting that the Braves are reportedly very interested in him. They've had good luck with local guys before. Let's talk about Matt Olson. Well, I'll mention him. That's it. We're going to talk about Yamamoto, the big international free agent. He was just posted last week. So it looks like, this is what they were saying on MLB Network today, according to all these sources. It looks like because of the amount of interest, he's really going to take his time with this big, very long-term decision. The top teams right now, of course, Dodgers, Giants, Mariners, Cubs, Yankees, but apparently he won't really, he probably won't make a decision until after winter meetings. This is another thing that I thought was interesting that they were chatting about on the old MLB Network this morning. So they were saying no, Shohei should really be making more of a show of him going to visit other teams. It should be like when LeBron James was a free agent and he was visiting everywhere and it was a big media circus. So yeah, that media circus isn't necessarily for everyone, but the argument was, does he have a responsibility to encourage a media circus if it's good for baseball as a whole? To me, okay, I've been thinking on this for a while. I'm like, okay, does he deserve his privacy during this process? Or is this bigger than him? Is this more for the game of baseball? My counter argument to that, I'm like, Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball, the best player that we're ever going to see in our lifetimes. Is that in itself just being a, once in a lifetime talent? Is that enough for the game of baseball, or should he be doing more? Should he be doubling down and getting more people interested in the game of baseball? Something that we're going to ponder over. Will Mike Trout ever go to Philly? I feel like we talk about this every offseason. Remember when Bryce Harper kind of low-key tried to recruit him, right after he got signed to Philly? He was like, we'll try to get Mike Trout. I'm going to shoot him a text. It was something like that. And then, bam, Mike Trout went and signed the big, long extension with the Angels. It's way too long to commit to that garbage fire of a team right now. I think about this all the time. This lives rent-free in my head. He committed to that team. And it is not working out. They won't be contending for a long time. What do you think? Do you think that maybe he locked it down with the Angels because he thought Bryce Harper was being annoying? Because, there's a pocket of people from Philly, or at least especially early on in Bryce Harper's tenure in Philadelphia, Cause he kind of panders. He like really leans into Philly culture, but like it kind of toes the line of like, is he enjoying this? Is he doing a bit? Is he just pandering to us? Is he making fun of us? Maybe maybe Mike Trout was just like annoyed by Bryce Harper and thought he was being fake as shit and was just like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm just going to get my money and you do you. These are things that I think about all the time. Oh, the chat is poppin'. Michael in the chat. Bartolo Colon retired. Robinson Cano, Alejandro Deaza, and Didi Gregorius in order. That's right. Yeah, he did retire. Sometimes guys like retire and like they actually didn't. Bartolo Colon actually retired. Michael also adds, I guarantee that Bartolo Colon would play on a major league team if he got an offer. He'll play until he can't walk. I think that's definitely a mindset that a lot of players have. It's like, obviously, it's their passion. It has to be if you're going to make all the sacrifices it takes to get to this level. So, yeah, I would believe if he got an offer, he would do it. Nico Warren, hello. Hi. We're saying hi. I'm acknowledging the shout outs. Hello. We're going to get into one of my topics that I'm very excited to get into is what are the youths of today learning about our favorite sports legends. But first, let's mention our friends at Breckenridge Distillery. They have a contest. You guys have just days to enter this contest now. I am not joking. It's the hashtag Broncos Bourbon contest. Listen, Breckenridge Bourbon is the official bourbon of the Denver Broncos. So Breck Distillery has a ticket contest going on. You can win 2 tickets to the Breckenridge Bourbon Whiskey Suite for the Broncos-Chargers game on New Year's Eve day. All you have to do is post your favorite Broncos photos on Instagram and Facebook and use the hashtag Broncos Bourbon on December 1st. Guys, that is this week. December 1st, it's going to be narrowed down to 10 favorites, and then it's going to go to a fan vote. And the most votes wins the tickets and some distillery swag too. So there's a link in the description of this podcast. You'll find more information at breckenridgedistillery.com. But yeah, they also have a new vodka, Broncos Blizzard. It's a new vodka commemorating the first white alternate Broncos helmets. So fun. Don't forget about the Reiki seltzers. We got those stocked at the bar too. One of my favorite seltzers right now. And we also have them at all of our DNVR tailgates, all of our watch parties all year long. So you can grab a taste. But Breckenridge Distillery products are available in all 50 states. Shop your local retailer or visit breckenridgedistillery.com for home delivery of award-winning Breckenridge spirits. Après anywhere. And we must talk about the folks over at Shady Rays. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the sunny weather ahead. We know, even though it's not warm out necessarily in Denver, we still get sun 300 days a year. You need your Shady Rays with you pretty much every day. And you can have them with you and not worry about losing them or breaking them, because if you lose them or you break them, they will replace them for free. No questions asked. And you can shop them online. You can check out the sunglasses in person at the Park Meadows Mall. Full stop for all things Shady Rays. If you don't love your Shady Rays, you can return them or exchange them totally for free. There's no risk when you shop. So yeah, their team always has your back. Shady Rays is currently in the midst of their biggest sale of the year for Black Friday. Don't miss out on the best deal for shades, snow goggles, and prescription sunglasses. So go to shadyrays.com and try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by more than 250,000 people. Let's talk some children's books. Guys, I have been literally living with a 1-year-old this whole week, and it has been life-changing. No, he's amazing. He's adorable, but he is a good handful of sports books. He obviously gets a lot of gifts. I need to step up my game though. So I was like cracking up over this. We're going to talk about Michael Jordan first. So there's this Michael Jordan book. It's in the Baby Baller series. There's 2 other books in this series. There's a Venus and Serena Williams book, and there's a Tom Brady book. But the Michael Jordan book, is about how before he was the legendary MJ, Michael Jordan was a kid who loved to play basketball. So yeah, my review of it does not get into his baseball career. It does not get into his gambling addiction and the consequences that came from that. It doesn't even like kind of like mentions like Scottie Pippen, but like doesn't mention that like they had a feud. It was just like, oh, did you know that they were the world champs in 1991? These, at least it rhymes, I will say. The book rhymes. They mentioned the dream team at the Olympics. So fun. Yeah, I'm like very into children's books about sports legends. There's this other one that he's definitely too young for. It's called The Big Book of Who. It's from Sports Illustrated. And this, as far as I can tell, I think the last time this was updated was 2014. So like it leaves out, there's no Rockies are mentioned in this. No one. But I will say we got Deion Sanders in here. I don't even know if I'm like, I gotta like look at my monitor again. So yeah, we've got Deion Sanders in here about how he is the only player to appear in both a World Series and a Super Bowl. It was really funny. So obviously I'm from Philly. All of my family, diehard Philly fans. I didn't realize my uncle like hates Deion Sanders. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize you hated him that much. He's like, he was a Brave. Of course I hate him. And I was like, right, of course. I love him. All right. Oh, hey, Alex Tate in the chat. Babies do need to know more about basketball history. I've always said it is so true. So this also got me thinking. I'm like, what books are out there that are about the Colorado Rockies? So I've actually I've done some digging. I've done some digging. I've also done some brainstorming. Maybe I'll make a book of my own, but some cute ones in there. So there's a Rockies 101 book that I found, and I believe it's from, okay, for some reason, oh yeah, I was under the impression that it might be from the same company as this. I have this like Eagles ABC book that obviously belongs to my nephew. But there's like a Rockies 101, my first team board book. I think this is so cute. It's got like a little baby on it. Was the baby photoshopped? Probably. But so cute. So cute. Just like a classic little tale. Actually, I have no idea what's inside of it because I haven't bought it yet. But the reviews on Amazon, great for little 1-year-olds. So that's pretty much the perfect thing. I'm reading a review right now. I know my husband will be thrilled if my son grows up thinking that the Rockies are the greatest. This is a review from 2014, by the way. So that means this kid is like 10 years old. I would love to know. I might comment on her review and be like, so like, what does your son think of the Rockies? Yeah. Oh, Michael in the chat. Great idea, Susie. I've always thought you should write a book. Michael's a great friend of mine. Michael's my author mentor. And I've been working on a book for maybe way too long at this point, but it'll happen eventually. Maybe I'll start off with a children's book like this. I think there's like a Rockies version of this ABC's book. But this is just stuff like R is for rivalry. Eagles versus Cowboys, or referee, running back, more words, receiver, rookie, run, rush. I'm guys, if any of you have kids or no kids, this is your shopping guide right now. Some ideas that I'm giving you. There's another one for like kids like a little older. This one's like set to be released in the new year. But Rockies all-time greats, and we've got Kyle Freeland on the cover, and we have Larry Walker on the cover. This one actually looks super cute. I don't really know. It's like reading age 7 to 9 years old, so I don't really know any kids that old right now, but I'm curious to see it. T is for tacos. Yes, exactly. But like I've been like brainstorming. I'm like, what would like a children's book, my ideal children's book for the Rockies look like? It would be like Good Night Moon, Good Night CJ Cron's home run that basically hit the moon and like got lost in the park. Good night, CJ Crone, because you don't play here anymore. Good night, Blue Moon, which was founded for the first time, or made for the first time at Coors Field. Good night to all the people on the party deck who drank so much cheap beer and passed out. It could be like a really cute little thing. We got some tweets of the week. We're going to get into those before I give you the deets on the last chance to, cash in on our Black Friday situation. But yeah, let's do some tweets of the week. This was funny to me. This picture from the Baseball Hall of Fame Museum. Very terrifying. This mascot, I have too many tabs open, guys. There it is. What is this chicken? Is this the chicken from the Padres game? The first mascot ever? But like this picture of this like mascot in a cage, it just looks like he's in some kind of, jail. So the tweet says, this looks like a pic of an incarcerated mascot being visited in prison by his wife and son. If Dinger went to jail, what would Dinger go to jail for? Would it be walking around with no pants? Probably would be. Michael in the chat. F is for fist fight in the stands. You freaking know it. Thank you. Go Birds. Hey, my Eagles won last night too. That was pretty wild. That was a really good game. Like, usually people are just like, yeah, good for you. You're an Eagles fan. You're annoying. People like congratulated me. Like I was in the game. Like, congratulations. It was a really good game. You guys did a great job. I'm like, yes, I did a great job. I wore what I was supposed to wear. Michael, that is the San Diego chicken, the prototype for most of the mascots we have now. I thought it might have been the chicken. That makes sense. I've still never been to the Baseball Hall of Fame, by the way. Michael in the chat knows that all too well. All right, guys. And then what else do we have? Oh yeah, a little Pawn Stars Poverty Franchise Edition. The Cardinals, of course, they're in the market for starting pitching. Who isn't? St. Louis Cardinals fans in October. It's gonna be Nola, Yamamoto, Gray, or bust. Actually, best I can do is Gray, Gibson, Lynn. And again, this is not a meme. It is from a real show, Pawn Stars Poverty Franchise Edition. Guys, we have the sickest Cyber Monday sale going on right freaking now. You cannot miss this because we have some of the biggest deals we've had ever. Shirts are up to 90% off. Team gear is at least 20% off. DNVR gear is 33% off. Shout out to Larry Walker. We've got hats and hoodies for $10 off. 'Tis the season, okay? And if you spend $75 or more, you are getting a $15 gift card that you can include in the gift you're getting or keep it for yourself and get some more cool swag. So there's more than that too. Some restrictions apply, but go to dnvrlocker.com for all the deals. This is the last day to do it. So like, what are you waiting for? Don't be stupid. Just go and buy it. Thank you. Johnny, thank you for asking how my Thanksgiving was. We were just reviewing the Thanksgiving week. And this was probably one of the best ever. And of course, like, I've got a 1-year-old nephew. So like he was here for Thanksgiving last year, but like he was a few days old. He didn't really do very much. And also we had to be super quiet. But this year he's like so much fun. So like that was really fun. My sister and her husband have like a great house with more space than the one they were in last year. So like we had a great time. My other sister came in too. It was lovely. So yeah, how was your Thanksgiving? Let me know in the chat. And let me know what your Colorado Rockies children's book would say. That's all I got for you. I will send y'all on your way. I literally have a flight to catch very soon. So I'm going to wrap this show up. But guys, I will be back here on the DNVR Sports YouTube channel on Wednesday at noon Mountain Time. Patrick, of course, will be back noon Mountain Time on Tuesday with something great. He's always got something good cooking. Always got something good. But you can follow me at the Suzie Hunter on all platforms. You can find all the latest Rockies updates and baseball headlines and absolute nonsense at DNVR_Rockies. And you guys, you know what I like to say about closing out a show? I say, fuck it, we ball. I will talk to you all or I will talk to you all tomorrow right here. No, I'll talk to you Wednesday on the DNVR Sports YouTube channel. Get me out of here, Alyssa. See ya.